Hi, my name is Adam and I'm a mixed media artist working with photography, painting, collage, all sorts of stuff. Okay, so I'm working on some photography and digital artwork which really focuses on the female body, on the empowerment that can come for women from different backgrounds, from different financial statuses, and so on. And I'm looking for the empowerment that I can offer to other women of exposing themselves on social media, especially where everything is like very fragile nowadays. It's very cancelled easily by all sorts of people, and everything that you say or do can just be cancelled like that, and there goes your career. So I'm really focusing on that, and I'm trying to be bold, not only for myself but for my friends as well. And I want to show them that it's possible to do you without having these consequences of being cancelled just because you're a woman. So for this project, I was actually like working on it for a very long time. I think it started like a few years ago when I was just like looking to find a way of expressing myself, because I was a very shy person before. And I was like, okay, what can I do as an artist so I can expose myself, put myself out there, and just improve my idea of the self and as an artist. So I started to just like take pictures of myself with my phone first of all. Then I grabbed a few film cameras, digital cameras. I was starting to work with them, and I was like, okay, I like these ones. I can work with lighting and contrast, but what can I do more? Because deep down, I just felt like I want something more from that. And I think there goes my painting background, where I was like looking for more colors, for more dynamic in my work. So that's how I started to work with Photoshop. I was so scared of Photoshop when I first started to work with it, which is so funny now. Yeah, I was like looking to work with Photoshop. I started to like edit a few bits here and there, and I was like, oh, I kind of enjoy this. So I was doing it more and more, and after that I was like, okay, what can I do now? Because I'm always looking to improve myself and to reach for more. I don't want to just be stuck somewhere on the same level. I was like editing stuff, and then I was like very inspired by the Japanese artwork. I was very, very inspired at some point by the culture, people, different artists from Japan. So I think that plays like a pretty serious role in my development, because I was starting to incorporate different masks from their culture, which at first sight they look like demons, but they're not pretty much demons. They're like, for example, with Hannya, there's like a mask that embodies the feminine rage, their culture, what it means to be romanticized, but also angry within society. She protects, but she's also very jealous. So I was really relating to that. So that's why I was like trying to incorporate it more and more and hide my human face, if that makes sense. And I think I just adapted like a different persona, to be honest, in my career. So now I'm just like working with that. And that's why it's called Hannya, because it just empowered me so much and inspired me a lot. It offers me a few stuff, but it takes away at the same time, because I'm a very dynamic person, and when I'm painting, for example, I can move around, I can step back, I can do stuff, doing collage, I can rip things off, I can like modify them. But when it comes to editing on my laptop, for example, I just have to like sit down and edit and be careful with settings and stuff like that, which are pretty much like very sensitive. I feel like it offers me the possibility of doing something that I can't do with paintings, but it takes away from that dynamic, from that possibility of moving around and just like interacting with my art like firsthand. No, it's definitely something unique, it's different, which I love. That's why I'm working with different stuff like painting, collage, digital artwork. That's why I'm looking to explore as much as I can and see how I'm reacting to it. I think that's very important when you're an artist, to just give it a try, see how you interact with things, and see how far you can push them. I get more affected when it comes to my eyes, just because I'm just looking at that screen for hours. Like literally I can go for hours just like looking at that screen, which doesn't happen when I'm painting, obviously. But not really, like when I'm interacting with my paintings and I'm painting, and when I'm editing, I do have the same mindset. It's still me. I'm just working with other things. It's basically like the way you're changing clothes. You're still the same person, but you're just changing clothes and you see how they work and how you can move with them. But no, I still have the same mindset. I'm still doing like internal therapy with myself, and I'm still like expressing myself. I'm using all these like feelings of rage, jealousy, empowerment, sometimes rare, very rare happiness. But no, I'm still working with these things, and it's not that different. It's a sort of therapy and it helps me as well. I'm just pushing my limits in different ways because I want to expose the feminine figure more. I'm using myself, for example, in self-portrait, which I've never tried it just because I wasn't attracted to this idea of like painting myself, for example. I've never done this. I wasn't interested in that. I didn't want to like use myself for paintings. I didn't feel like I was truly there in my paintings. But when it comes to editing, I can always like take self-portraits. I become like a different person, if that makes sense. I can like pretend I'm more confident, or maybe full of rage in that moment, or full of energy. I can pretend and play with things around myself. So when it comes to editing, I'm just working on the female body more, because that's gonna be like, you know, for sure, even though I cover my face, you know for sure there's a woman in that picture. I can transform that. I can create like a different maybe world. But with paintings, no. With paintings, I'm talking more about society. I'm talking more about the things that are influencing me from the outside and how I perceive them, and I'm filtering them. But when it comes to photography, I'm using them, but just like a small resources when it comes to the female form. That's the main point. So I'm just like representing the other women in photography. With painting is the society around me. When it comes to Romania, from my experience, they do, mostly men, they do sexualize you as a woman, but the downfall by the end of the story, it's your fault in a way. And there's still closed-minded when it comes to like, as a woman, exposing yourself on social media or in the society. So obviously when they look at my work, they'll be like, what is this? This is unacceptable. This is not meeting our requirements when it comes to the society norms. Especially as a woman, you're expected to act a certain way, speak a certain way sometimes. As an artist, they will look at you like, oh my god, okay, she's crazy. That's it. Maybe that's why she's acting like this. When it comes to the UK, they just see you as an artist in your pure form. And I think they are more willing in the UK to see your point, and they look further away from the painting or the photography. So they just look at it and they're like, okay, what does she mean by this? What does she want to say about this work? They don't look at it like you're an object, you just want to expose yourself, you're looking for attention, because this is not the point. Otherwise, I can just like, I have other ways of doing this if I want to. But no, they're very open-minded. In Romania, I don't think you really have a future when it comes to like this style of making art and photography. Not really. A few people are trying. I can see them pushing, which I respect them for, but it's still hard to break that mindset sometimes, especially with the older generations, because they will always look down at you, which is very sad, but I think we're trying to get there. And I think we will at some point, maybe in a few years, hopefully. I think in South Korea there's like a thing, and it was a judge who said that. She was like, if a woman does a mistake and a man does a mistake, the man just did a mistake. The woman is just taking her entire life and career down the drain. That's the thing. if a man makes a mistake, he's a man. He's just a man. Boys will be boys. If women make mistakes, they're sluts. They're looking down at you. You don't have a place in the society. You can be a mother, you can be a friend or a daughter. They will be embarrassed with you. So I think it's very infuriating, this thing of like just how unfair everything is, just because you're a girl. And they think, at the same time, they think it's easier for you if you're a woman to make it out there, just because they can be like, you're pretty, it's gonna be easy for you. Well, no, like, fun fact, if you're pretty, they will just objectify you. And if you're trying to be smart and do smart things, they'll be like, what are you doing? You're just pretty. Like, just stay in your line. So you're just like limited by that idea. Just because of you're pretty, that doesn't mean you can be smart. I'm still compared to other people. There's a lot of people who are comparing my work with other people who are usually men. And I'm like, I can see your point, but at the same time, I have to work even harder. Not just to prove to that person, I have to prove to a million other people. Because they're looking at that person who's a man, comparing me. Sometimes, like for example, when you look at Rocky, he ties up people. And those women are honored to work with him. Because they feel like they are muses. They are his inspiration. So they're not just objectified. They're there. They can be truly themselves. They can be naked in front of a camera and still feel safe because they chose to do that. But other times, there's like men just taking advantages on women or their models, and they're geniuses. But what was going on in that model's mind? Like, why does she want to be naked in a photo? Because he's gonna be glamorous. He's gonna be like a successful photographer or artist. And she's gonna be like a failed mother, a failed daughter. So there goes her career. Why is she naked there? She can't be hired anymore in other places because it's not ethical. We can't hire someone to work at the desk in an office if she was naked in a magazine. But that photographer is making big moves. So I think it's a bit unfair, and we have to work even harder to prove ourselves again and again and again. It's good in a way because that's how you improve yourself and your techniques and your work. You're learning more stuff this way. You're not stagnant. But it's tiring sometimes, and it's so unfair and infuriating. I think it's very easy for the general public to glamorize work when it comes to seeing a woman, when a woman is there. It's very easy, just because who doesn't want to see a beautiful woman, a beautiful lady in a frame? So automatically I think they tend to glamorize that artwork. It's in a way the same that happened with Francesca Woodman and her depression. She was very depressed. She was trying to like express herself and work with her feelings and her struggles throughout the entire career, working with photography and stuff, and using herself in self-portrait. But nobody really cared that she was depressed and she was like looking for help and she had like some mental issues going on. They just glamorized her work at some point. Especially nowadays, she's very glamorized when it comes to that. She's very romanticized. She's like, oh my god, the feminine energy and the feminine rage. Like this beautiful woman, first of all, beautiful woman who's crying or who's sad. Just like one single tear going down the cheek. So it's very easy for people to glamorize when it comes to women. And when they see like raw emotions and the not so pretty part, they're a bit shocked. They're a bit like taken aback. They're like, oh, what's going on there? Like, you're a human being like that. You're not just like this beautiful goddess who looks perfect and is like crying one single tear. Like, it doesn't work like that. So because I was a very shy kid, I didn't get that much attention from my parents, which I don't think is something special, especially in Romania. Like, it's quite like the norm there. So it's nothing special when it comes to that. But I think internally I was like looking for validation when I was a kid, and now it just reflects in my work, and I can see that, and I'm willing to work with this and use it for art purposes more than anything. So I definitely think I'm looking for validation, but not for myself anymore as I used to. I'm more looking for validation and mostly to have conversations and hard conversations with people when it comes to my work. So that's why I chose to talk about struggles or exposing yourself onto social media or working with such sensitive subjects around. So yeah, it's definitely like a step further in my career, but also in my personal development. And I can see like girls around me and my friends just going through the same stuff, and I'm trying to like help them out through my work and just show up for them with my work, if that makes sense. I really want them to interact with my work, and I'm looking forward to have conversations with them more than anything, because I'm always looking to get in their mind, even for like a few seconds. I just wanna see what's going on and their perspective with my work. I think that's why I'm choosing not to like have descriptions for my work anymore, just because I want to give them the chance to like create their own narrative and to talk about my work the way they see it, because that's all about them. I want to like interact with them. I want to see them getting creative, even like watching at a painting or a photography. I'm hoping to see fun people there who are willing to interact with my work. There's gonna be something unique. It's not gonna be like a boring exhibition, by the way, don't worry. It's not gonna be like a picture on the wall and that's it. We'll have champagne. But I'm looking to have some fun, talk to people as much as I can. I want them to have an experience, not just like, I saw that painting or that photo, we don't know yet, and that's just go home. I want them to live with something and to learn something about it and to have like a different perspective maybe that they didn't think about of before. So yeah, I want to interact with people as much as I can, because I love doing this and I love learning from them as well, and I can use that in my work. So do come along, because you inspire me. Come along to my exhibition. We'll have champagne and snacks and a lovely surprise for you.